Hi guys, it is Ashley with Charlie Rose Creations. I make and sell glitter tumblers. Today I am working on epoxying some tumblers from the live sale, finishing them up. And so anyway, if you haven't been following me for a while, or for the last 10 days. I've been doing 32 days of lives for the entire month of January, and then I'm also going to do it on the first day of February because that's just the day that my cart closes on my group. But anyway, yeah, so this is the topic that seriously I get the most questions about is epoxy and how to do it. What do you do when something, what does this mean? What went wrong? And all of that stuff. So, and really, some of the topics will probably repeat themselves over the course of this month, just because I have to work on stuff on my business, and so sometimes I can't necessarily do a super fun new thing. So it's epoxy night tonight. So when you come on, tell me, hey, I'm sorry, I look a little bit kind of. Today's been a no makeup day. It's been a day. It's been a day. So, hey guys. Can I just say, it seriously just does my heart so good to see everybody get on here every day. I'm just honored that you choose to come and watch me, I guess. And so I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's see, to start, let me clean off the bottom of this guy. So I buy these little cups. These are just little solo cups we get them from Kroger because that's our local grocery store. You can also get them at Walmart. And I'm sure there's some other places that I'm not thinking of right now because I'm a little tired. But since I'm working on so many tumblers at one time, I used to use those little measuring cups. And then I was like, this doesn't make sense to continuously mix multiple times throughout the night. It would take me forever to get things done. So I started doing this. And so what I do is I just get a measuring cup. And y'all, this may be weird, but I don't use, the actual cup with the handle and that has the little spout. That is for liquids. But the ones that are the little cup with that you can sit flat on the counter, those are for dry goods. But when I'm using this and I want it to make sure that it's totally precise, I use the one for dry goods because then I don't feel like I can mess it up. They're exactly the same. That's just how I feel. I don't know if anybody else feels like that. So anyway, that's what I use, and you can choose whatever measuring thing you want to do, or you don't have to do this at all. But if you are somebody who's making a lot and you're like, there's got to be a better way. This is just what I do. You can also buy those silicone measuring cups. I have used them. I did not like it, but that's just me. You can do what you want. But anyway, I fill it up one time and I make a mark, and then I fill it up a second time with the same amount and I make another mark. And then now I have my own measuring cup just for me, because I throw these away. I just throw them away when I'm done. So yeah. And then I have these little guys. These are FIFO bottles. I have one for part B, one for part A. I set them in cups. They are not currently leaking, and the whole premise is that they're not supposed to leak, but I don't know that I 100% trust them. So I put them in a little cup just to be sure that I don't have stickiness going everywhere. So Fran just asked why I didn't like the silicone one. Okay, so maybe it was because mine was really, really tall and really, really big. I dip my fingers in, pull it out, and then I put it on. And that's just the way. I don't pour. I think if you're a person that pours it, then that may work for you. But I was sticking my fingers in, pulling it out, and then put it on there. So I had these little pieces of epoxy that would dry. And so then I'm having to scrape it like crazy to get these little bitty epoxy pieces out, and it took me forever, and so it just wasn't worth it for me to do that. So I don't anymore. I just use this. This is just what works for me, and that's what pretty much what I always show you guys is just what works best for me. So yeah. And if yours are leaking, and sometimes they do, mine do after I've used them for a while. So these, and I swap mine out. I don't keep the same ones forever and ever because around the top up here, they get a little grody, and sometimes I'll get particles on the inside. So usually when I get a new thing of epoxy, I also get new FIFO bottles. It's not really super economical, but it's what I do. You don't have to. You can clean them out and stuff. Y'all, I got my time is worth a lot more than doing that. I would much rather be doing other things, playing with my kids. There's lots of other things I'd rather be doing. So, but yeah, if yours leak, just flip them upside down so that the top is on the bottom part. That's what I would do. Oh, Pamela, that's wonderful. So that's just the best feeling when you've just been making things for gifts or for yourself or whatever, and then somebody else finds out about it and then they want to purchase from you. That's the best. No, Fran, no, I don't. Although that's an idea too, but then you'd still be, the whole purpose of it would be to not have to throw away a cup. So yeah. So yeah, I got, when I got these little ones, because these aren't very big and I refill them several times, I think I got 12 of them for, I don't know, like $10, maybe that much. And so I don't know, I don't even remember where I got them from. Probably like a buy-in group somewhere, random. So I don't use those. Kelsey's asking about stir sticks. I tried one. It was very large and my cup was very small, so it didn't really work well. I'm not opposed to trying them again, but y'all, I really, really like the popsicle sticks. They're the big ones. I can get a bajillion of them for like $3. And so that's just what I do. So, okay. All right, so I am going to, I sit it down, my cup, I don't know if you can see, sit my cup down, like right here, just wherever, I sit it wherever. And then I always do part B first, because it's the really liquidy one. And so I just kind of squat and measure. That sounded weird. But I kind of squat down so that I can really see it, and I pour it out. And then I do the same thing for part A. I feel like I do the part B first just because this is really thick and I'm scared that it's gonna get like stuck in the little crevices. It sinks down anyway. It's probably like a psychological thing and it's maybe not necessary, but it's what I do. And so this one takes a lot longer to come out because it's a lot thicker. So you should have one really liquidy part and one super thick part. All right, and then I stir for like ever and ever. Yes, I have on sloth pants today. So today I wasn't feeling like super great. So if y'all followed me for a little while, you know that I love sloths. Shauna, my assistant, sent me a sloth like wall calendar in the mail, and it made my day. But yeah, so when I'm not feeling great, I put on my sloths. They're my comfort pants. So, yeah, and so, Kelly, that's a great point. So, I've been doing this. Y'all have to remember, I've been doing this for 2.5 years, and a lot of the time, I kind of figured out what worked best for me from trial and error. And then once I figured out what worked, I stuck with that. Even when, other people came out with, like, the epoxy method, I tried that. I don't like it. So, like, I don't do it. So, it doesn't work for me. But you just have to figure out what works for you. So... Jessica, are you talking about the little bottles that I have? Those are called FIFO bottles. They're FIFO. You can get them on Amazon. These aren't very big. These, I think, are, let's see. These are only 16 ounces. They're not huge. So I just do a little bit, little small ones. What do I do on here? I make and sell glitter tumblers. So like this. We are in the process of finishing up these guys. And I did. I got more bins. Can y'all see? Are you talking about these bins back here? I got them labeled. So this still needs a label back here. This is where I'm going to put all of my decals. So what I do, if you haven't followed me, I'm still stirring this very slowly. But if you haven't followed me for a while, I don't really like doing decals. That's not my favorite part. And I think everybody, anytime you do a craft, everybody's going to have a part of the process that's not their favorite. And that's okay. It's just one of those things you kind of have to do. But yeah, it's just not my favorite. I think because I don't feel like I'm being as creative and it's time consuming, and I'm not one of those people that really enjoys just sitting at a computer for extended periods of time. So anyway, I make decals ahead of time. So I do a lot of them on the same day. I try to do as many as I can on the same day. And so I've got like a bunch of black, a bunch of white, and then I do all the other ones because usually black and white and gold are the biggest ones. So, so I cut them out all ahead of time. So what I usually do is I just put them somewhere and then I can never find them. So I end up having to cut them again sometimes, which is really not fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in this bin right here on the end, because this is also, you can tell this is where I've sanded these, and then these need to be taped off and painted. And so I'm on the back, because the back of the decal is like paper, I'm going to write the order number so it's easy for me to find what I'm looking for. So I'm excited. How long do I need to stir this? About 3-ish minutes, but I'm talking, and so it's going to take me a little bit longer. So, Casey, Casey, that's exactly what I did. I found on Amazon, and I've looked for a similar thing. I think mine was 67 colors when I first ordered it. And well, I need to, words are hard. Anyway, when I first started, we ordered me 67 pack. I think they were 5 feet long, all of them. I think I spent about $100 on it. It was not a horrible deal. And then that way I had all the colors. I can't find the same deal that I got originally. So yeah, but that's exactly what I did. And so that's a great way to start. Let's see. Oh, Kristen, you're so sweet. Oh, you just made your first 2 this week. Yay! That's exciting. Okay, so people are asking about the epoxy. So first of all, there are several different brands that you can use. I've tried quite a few of them. The only one I haven't tried is Faux Rizzle, but that's made by Art Resin, which is like under the umbrella of FX epoxy. But I didn't like the Art Resin when I tried it, so I'm not really gung-ho about trying the Faux Rizzle. And plus, I have something I like, and so I don't really feel like swapping it. So I purchased FX Premium Epoxy. It's from countertopepoxy.com. But there are lots of other brands. They all come with a Part A and a Part B. The majority of them are measured like equally. There is one that I've heard of, and I'm not going to be able to think of the name while I'm on here, that you do measure it by volume, no, by weight, which who wants to do that? Not me. And you have to have 2 times of this amount and like 1 time of this amount. It was weird. So that was not, Kelly, yes, I have mom brain. That's what's wrong with me. So after the kids, and y'all, I had the kids all day today. So sometimes they go to school for part of the day, and then some days they stay with me all day. And so it was a day. It was a day. I felt like I couldn't do anything right. You know, if you're a mom, you know what I mean. I heard the word no out of my toddler's mouth more than I'd never want to hear that word ever again. Ever. It just drives me crazy. Oh, Maria, I'm so glad that you liked that. Oh, Jamie, that's so sweet. Thank you. All right, Max Clear. Yes, Tracy, thank you. I think it's pronounced like Mac, maybe Max CLR. I don't know. I always say Max Clear because it looks like clear without the vowels. So, okay. So I have stirred this for a good little bit while we've been talking. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I scraped the sides really good because I want to make sure there's no epoxy hanging out over there so that it messes up my tumblers later. I've also really scraped the bottom as well as mixed it up pretty good. And you'll know it's done when it's clear. Now I'm going to show this to you, but you're going to see bubbles. That's normal. So you can see it's clear all the way through, minus the bubbles. I keep misplacing my gloves. Shocker. Are we getting snow? If you're talking to me, we are not getting snow. No. No. Although today was very cold for Georgia and for middle Georgia at that. Like I had to wear my jacket outside today. Had to wear my jacket outside to walk to the mailbox. I had to wear my jacket outside. I get my gloves from Amazon. Y'all, I get the majority of my stuff from Amazon. The only thing I don't buy on Amazon is electrical tape. And that's what I use to tape off the bottom of my tumblers. Brandon, I don't know if I brought it in here. That giant pack he just bought me. My husband will go to Lowe's. All right, so I'm going to start down here and I'm going to work my way this way. So I may have to move you back when I get to this one. I don't know if you can see it. All right, so I'm going to turn these on. Oh, of course it's not plugged in. Of course it's not. Hang on. Please work. There we go. Sorry. Anyway, he goes to Lowe's and he can get me a 10-pack for like $5. Five and some change dollars. So, all right. So hopefully you can see that okay. So, yes. All right. So I just use a gloved hand and just stick my fingers in here and just kind of rub it all over. And I try to work pretty quickly, especially if you are mixing up large amounts. It's going to cure faster in the little cup you have. Because the more you have mixed up, the faster it cures. And so I like doing it with my hand. Versus something else, because then I can feel where I've missed it. And so I feel like I get a better finish. And then I also go up like this. This may not be necessary, but it makes me feel better. Should have grabbed my iPad so I could see your comments. I think all of these are from the live sale. Okay, so somebody's asking about the size I make my decals. I actually have a picture that I've posted before where it kind of shows this different sizes. For like a monogram, my go-to is always 3 inches tall. So 3 inches high, and that's for 20 and 30s. It's the same size. Names are going to depend on the cup. So like the longest I do on like a 30 ounce is around 4.5 inches. Usually. And then the longest I do on like a 20 ounce, I think is like 3.5 or 4 inches. A lot of times I'll just measure it if I'm unsure. I use those like little, those little fabric measuring tapes because they're bendy. Yeah, I love these turners. They're so quiet compared to my other ones. Okay. All right, so how do I make sure that the tape's all the way even? So first of all, it's not always 100% even, but for that first one, I usually set my cup on a flat surface, and then I get a pencil, and I set it on top of something. Usually it's Post-its, because that's what I have a bajillion of around here. And then I draw a little line around the cup. I spin the cup so that it draws a little pencil mark all the way around at the same height. I don't know if that made any sense. And then I use that to guide where I put my tape. Sometimes I eyeball it though, if I'm feeling really crazy. And then I always wipe off, I don't see, yeah, you can see me doing that. I wipe off the excess. So I smooth it, wipe. And I'm not putting a lot of pressure while I do that, but I am getting off a lot of it, because I put a lot on to start, and then I kind of get some of it off. Okay. And everybody always asks about how I prevent epoxy from going on the inside. And I don't really do anything special. But it's not just gonna I think it's like surface tension is what keeps it from doing that. But it's not just gonna flow over there and over the edge unless you put a ton right there. Usually if I have epoxy on the rim, it's from when I'm doing this and smoothing it out. And I use FX Premium Epoxy. Oh, I'm sure I'm missing all the questions. If for whatever reason I don't answer it or somebody else doesn't answer it, then ask it again when I get done. So these move a little faster than my other ones. And so I always feel like I'm kind of whoa. I mean, it's not that much faster. It's just it's just a smidge faster. So how soon after sending email address? The free PDF should come to you immediately. If it didn't, it's probably in your spam folder. For whatever reason, Gmail likes to really Still can't see that. Can you see it now? I'm like as far down as I can go. Hang on. Here we go. Can I see where the epoxy is? Yes, I can also feel it, which is why I do this. When I rub somewhere that doesn't have epoxy, it's like my fingers will go, like they'll stop because it's not smooth. And so this is one of the reasons why I use a glove and apply it this way. Okay. I have a bunch of epoxy left, so I am going to make some, magnets. Well, not like the actual magnet part yet. So whenever I have leftover epoxy, I use this guy to fill in with glitter. And so this is kind of what it looks like whenever it gets done. And then I use E6000 on the back to adhere a magnet. And so this is just a fun little thing that I sometimes include in my stuff when I send it out, if I have some available. I don't always have it available, but when I do, I include them. And then this is when my glitter dump bucket is really important, and I just dump a bunch of like excess glitter in here. This is from mine. That is not what I just used. And I just mix it up. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. Gosh. Hang on, it's got a little weird piece in it. This is what happens when it's a dump bucket. And so anyway, I just mix it up like this. I just put a whole bunch in here. And then I'm going to, kind of hard to see, but I'm just gonna pour it in these and then let that sit. And then that's just what I do with my leftover epoxy. Normally, if I was doing this and people weren't watching me, I would go on to the other tumblers I have to do. But trying to move my light and my tripod is like, no. Not while I'm live. It would be a hot mess. And so I just dump this out. So I use a rose mold. This is just like a silicone mold. I use a rose one because of my business name. It's part of my brand. If I can use roses somewhere, I'm always going to do that. So I always suggest that you have something that's like a part of your brand that you can kind of use for things like this. Or something that you're passionate about or whatever. So, okay, I'm going to let that sit there. All right, what questions did I miss? Oh, and I just hit that. Oh, Jennifer, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, those are my sloth leggings. I keep pulling at my shirt because I'm really hot. Let's see. Shauna, yeah, that's my, the second one is the Pink Galaxy. Jody, you do. That is yours back there. Yes. Does the epoxy smell? Okay, I get this question all the time. Somebody messaged me. I think somebody even messaged me today about, like, how do you handle, like, the fumes and stuff? Well, first of all, mine does not smell. Like, I have, either I'm just really used to it, but it is low VOC. I don't notice anything. And now I'm not like in an enclosed, like small, I'm not in a small room that's really enclosed. This is a fairly large room. I think it's like 14 by 18. It's big for a craft room. This is supposed to be like our formal living room. And if you followed me for a little while, you know that we're not fancy people. We do not do formal. No. So it also has like 2 really large cased openings on either end. So it's not like closed off. And yeah, so I've never noticed a smell with it. I've never had any type of reaction. I should say, like, epoxy reactions are fairly common, and it's usually like with all brands if you're gonna have one because of one of the ingredients. I don't know what it is. I've been doing it for 2.5 years. I'm also, y'all, I'm extremely sensitive. I have reactions to everything, and for whatever reason, like, praise the Lord, I've never had a reaction to this. So some people's are really mild. Somebody messaged me the other day, or today, and her eyes got a little swollen. And so, like, you can wear goggles, like the kind of goggles that straight up, like, sit on your face. You can, I've seen people too, like, will get like the super long gloves and then put like latex gloves over those and use a breathing thing, like do all the things. You can also put like Vaseline, I think, on parts of your body that, a lot of people also have to like, change their clothes as soon as they're done. So have a special epoxy clothes that they only use while they're epoxying. Change as soon as they're done. Some people have to shower as soon as they're done. It's like, it's just, some people have reactions and some don't. It's like with anything. So, yeah, I'm going to do the heat gun, but I got to find it. Y'all, I cleaned up my room and I don't know where all my stuff is. And I need a cord to reach it. I don't know if it will reach. Hang on. Let's see if it'll reach over this way. I don't want to do that. I know I'm going to hit it. All right, so sorry. I got to find a little plug. So let me see if I can answer some more questions before I do that. Yeah, so some people, like if I had really bad reactions, I think I would try to do something else. Now, if that was at the beginning, I've been doing this 2.5 years, and it's how I make a living. I would find ways around that. So I think it depends where you are in your journey. So I do cups without glitter. I don't do very many. And how do I keep glitter off the cups? Man, and my power's dying. Hang on, you guys, my battery's dying. Y'all, I told you at the beginning, this is the kind of day I've been having. It's just crazy town, crazy. How do I keep glitter off of a non-glittered cup? It's extremely difficult. I make sure that I don't touch glitter at all before I epoxy stuff. But the thing is like, this is where I glitter, and it's like in the air. It's just, I could touch something and like glitter could kind of fly off. So I try to keep it where there's less than 5 pieces of glitter on my non-painted or on my non-glitter tumblers. And if that's the case, I'll let it ride. It is entirely, I think I've had 1 cup where I've had 0 glitter on it ever. It's just one of those things. They get a little extra sparkle. Yes, I did get more tubs. So in case anybody's wondering, because I am working on organizing, that's one of my things for this year. My anxiety goes like through the roof if this work area, well, if any of my areas are dirty or like messy or whatever. So I'm working on organization so that I have a place to put all the things. So I have 20-ounce lids, 30-ounce lids, other lids. This would include like my skinnies. I know they're 20 and 30s, but They're different shaped. So anything that's a little different, like wine tumblers, koozie lids, and what else do I do that's in there? Kids cups, those go there. And then, what is that? I'm reading this backwards. This is magnets. That's where I put all my magnets because this is going to be my shipping station. And then here are like my stickers that I put on the bottom of the tumblers. The stickers I use to hold the butcher paper together that I wrap it up, and like my business cards and where I write notes on. So yeah, let's see. I use FX brand epoxy. It's FX. It's made by Countertop Epoxy, and I use the premium one. The standard one is good too. Sorry, I've done nothing to my hair and I have on zero makeup. I don't know if it's Madeline or Madeline. I never know when I say that. I use FX Premium. We're pretty humid. I'm in Georgia. It's like drinking the air when you're trying to breathe in the summer. And I've had zero issues transitioning from summer to winter. It's done really well. And I've done that several times. Jamila, thank you. Let's see. Yes, excess epoxy is what's in the molds, and I just mix it up with some like glitter. What I do if I have glitter that either gets mixed with other colors and I don't want to put it back in the jar, or it's fallen on my table, just any kind of where it's mixed and I can't reuse it for a cup, I have a glitter dump jar or glitter dump bucket. And that's what I use to put in my epoxy for when I have leftovers. Normally I don't have that much leftovers. Normally I have enough maybe to do one magnet. But since we were doing this, yeah. Okay, so I answered that question. So I think I'm caught up for the most part. Where did I get these tubs? You guys, these are from the Dollar Tree. So they're $1. These are called locker bins. If you order them online, this is the reason why I did not order them online, because number one, you have to buy a case, which is like $25. Also, they come in packs of white and blue. I do all white. I do gray, white, some stained wood, and navy, and a little bit of corally, like fuchsia colors. So yes, I didn't want blue. Yeah, part B sometimes will get yellow. Mine looks a little, what is this? Oh, this is my part A. Mine's pretty clear. Sometimes they will be. Ooh, sorry. It also depends on if you have standard or premium. Premium is supposed to be clear, or mostly clear. Premium, standard sometimes gets a little yellow. It's not horrible. If you want to test it out first, you can, or you can also email and or call them and let them know, send a picture and say, hey, is this acceptable? Like, can this still be used? They know what we're using it for. So, oh, Kathy, I'm so glad I could help. Tamisha, I have no idea if I'm saying that right. My husband built my turners. If I had to make these by myself, they would not have happened. I would have bought them. This is not, everybody has their gifts, and that is not mine. I would not have been able to, do that myself. But I have a video on here where I kind of explained how he put it together, basically, with my limited amount of knowledge. But Etsy is a great place to go to purchase. You can kind of look at, most people will either call them cup turners or cup tisseries, like rotisserie, but cup tisserie. And there's a lot of things a lot of different places that sell them. You can get single turners, you can get multi-cup turners, you can get, I prefer the kind like I've got right here that are all in a line. I feel like there's a lot less room for error there. The kinds that do like this just make me super nervous, because all of them I see will turn and they'll kind of jerk. That just makes me nervous. So, that's why I like this. And plus I can epoxy it on the turner. I feel like it's really hard I feel like it would be really hard to get the epoxy on the cup when it's on the carousel kind. So yeah, Now, mine are all made with individual motors. Most of them that you find there are not. They've perfected their stuff. My husband has a full-time job. I don't have time for him, and he doesn't have time to sit there and try to mess around trying to find the best technique to put together turners. He just does a simple technique. It's just a simple, and it works. And that's all I need. If I have to buy 20 more rotisseries, I will do it. If I need it, I don't think I will. But if I did, I would. No problem. So, all right, in the tubs, you mean back here? In the tubs are lids, magnets, like all the stuff I need to ship. My business cards, stickers. All right, Kimberly, you don't have to have a turner, especially if you're just trying it out. If you're planning on selling them, and time is money when you're selling, I would highly recommend that you get a turner, because you're going to be using a lot of your time, because you have to hand turn. You can't just put it on there and leave it. It's going to drip. So, oh, Teresa, if yours is a little bit tacky after, I don't know how many hours you've let yours sit, but if it's tacky after 24 hours, that means one of two things. Either it wasn't measured 100% equally, or it wasn't totally mixed up completely. And since it's tacky, I'm leaning more towards it wasn't mixed up totally all the way. You can add another layer on top of that and to see if that will help. Angie, I plan on doing a live whenever we, because we're going to upgrade this board because I have a bigger space now. But I already have a live on this, how I did it, or how I organize it. But that's coming. I'm not going to do it in this one since this is... I try to stay on topic as much as I can. Do you have an idea why I would? Okay, divots or little fish eyes. A lot of times it can be because of the temperature's not quite right, or if you used a spray sealer before you epoxied. That, when I was first beginning, that was literally the number one reason. As soon as I stopped doing it, I stopped having issues with it. Angie, yeah, Hobby Lobby, this is where I got it at Hobby Lobby. It was $14. I think I got it on sale, so it was even less off. Like, hang on, here's one that's not finished. Hang on. This is how it comes with this edge right here. It's $14.99, and you can use a 40% off coupon. It's very cheap. I stained the edge of mine because I'm a little extra and I wanted to. And then I added all of that. So hopefully Brandon's going to be building me a bigger one, and then I can kind of show you how I put that together. I use footballs. All right, Kathy, I epoxy the top parts first. I go back and I like smooth that out, and then I go back and do the bottom part. And then for those, I usually don't run my finger over it, so it doesn't mix. All right, Julie, then it's probably temperature. Something's going wrong with your temperature. If you used a heat gun too close, like epoxy is very finicky. If it's too hot or too cold, it's gonna not react appropriately. Oh, Leslie, you did use sealer. Okay, yes, great. All right, actually, if you're just starting out, I would just go ahead and get the Alumilite brand. That's you can get it at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Most craft stores have it. Walmart, my Walmart does not. I haven't heard of anybody else whose Walmart also carries it, or you can order it online. And that's what I would do, honestly. And then that kind of is great for you to like get the hang of epoxy. It still works well. I don't like it because the heat tolerance isn't as much. So like if I leave my cup in the car, it can get messed up if it's sitting in the cup holder. If I leave my cups in the car now, it doesn't. So it's not like the epoxy is going to drip or anything. It's just going to soften, and I don't really like that. So I do not seal my cups. No. Unless it's like black and white glitter, black and white stripes. Okay, I don't know. But if you need to hand turn, I have several videos on that. It just needs to be horizontal. Y'all, I used a broomstick when I first started. I taped a broom to my table, and then I had the stick end part stick out past my table a little bit, and I put my cups on that, and then I laid parchment paper on the floor to catch the epoxy drips. And then I just turned it every time I see drips. Every time. Oh, Kelsey, that's great. I use FX Premium Epoxy. I don't know why I'm looking up because I'm like trying to remember the name, and I don't know why because that's all I use. It's mom brain, you guys. Mom brain. I'm very tired. The kids were a little extra today. Okay, so I don't have an extension cord right now, and I have to go search for one before I can do the heat gun. But what I normally do next is I run a heat gun over it. Highly recommend you do that. I also bought a torch. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, and I'm going to experiment with that, not on live, because, no. I'm going to experiment with that and see how I like that. I've heard that that's wonderful. It's just really hard for me to change when I've used the exact same method a bajillion times, and I love it. So, Kimberly, they take, so Amazing Clear Cast, the Alumilite brand, takes a little bit longer to cure. So I wouldn't touch it before 12 hours. I would just not touch it. But it should harden enough that you can stop turning it. For the Alumilite one, anywhere between 6 to 8 hours. For mine, I can usually stop turning it at the 3 to 4 hour mark. It cures faster. And which is one of the reasons why I swapped. There were lots of reasons. That was just one. So at the 3 to 4 hour mark, I can stop the turners, and then usually around 6 hours, I can pull them off of their turners. And so I can usually, on the days that my kids are at school, or where I can sneak away for 5 seconds where they don't, not 5 seconds, but you know what I mean, where they don't notice I'm missing. That doesn't happen when they're here, but for the random times that it does, I can get 2 sets of tumblers done in the same day, which is huge for me. So I have, right now, because I've had a couple that have been out of commission, I have 4, 9, 11, I have 17 that are functioning. So that means I can get, what's that math? 34. I can get 34 cups epoxied in a day, possibly, which is huge for me. So that's how long it takes to dry. How often and when do you sand? I only sand once. Unless something crazy happens and I need to sand a second time. And I sand the second coat of epoxy, and then I clean it, decal, third coat of epoxy, and then usually it's done. If you sand that second coat, I don't worry about sanding the first coat because it's still going to be bumpy during the second coat. It's just that first coat to me is like, it's sealing the glitter and giving us a moderately smooth, mostly smooth surface. That second coat is what really smooths it out. And so I don't worry about sanding it till then. Other people will tell you something different. That's just my personal preference. And I'm not sanding it 12,000 times because I don't like doing that. So I try to keep it pretty simple over here. All right, friends, if nobody has any other questions, I am done. So I mean, it took like, no time to get this done. Wood grains, I do seal. I've only done one because that's just one of those things I just hadn't tried. And I did a very light dusting of sealer on it, just enough to kind of seal, like not really thick, just to seal it pretty good. Yeah, you can see the turners again. Here they go. So you can see I've got the motor, rod, PVC pipe holding it all together. There's a football in here that holds it on there. And then Brandon built these little thingies that kind of support the PVC and keep it level and just keep it steady. Sturdy. Sturdy is the word. And I just use wet, dry sandpaper, and I usually use anywhere between 150 to 220. No, I always use my hand. Teresa, I always use my hand. I dip it in the cup, put it on the tumbler. That's how I've always done it, and then that way I can feel it. I do that for every single layer, all the layers, same way. Yes, FX Premium. Kathy, I don't have any silhouette tutorials. I've thought about doing them, but I wasn't sure if they would be wanted, I guess. And like, I am not like the silhouette queen or anything. I do all the same things. I don't do like new techniques or whatever. I'm making decals. That's all I'm doing. And so I mean, I'm doing mostly pretty basic stuff on it. So, I mean, I can show you what I know and what I use and how I do my stuff, but yeah, I don't let's see. What color is the second one? I don't know which second one. Do you mean this one over here? This is Magnolia and Forget Me Not. That's the names of those. I do not sand the last coat of epoxy because then it's going to get dull. So unless you have a bump and you need to sand and then reapply epoxy, because if you sand, you're going to have to do another coat of epoxy. Definitely. Jennifer, my group is opening up January 29th, and then the last day it's going to be open is February 1st. And it'll probably close around 10 o'clock on February 1st. I know most people do like midnight, but I'm not a great night person, also not a great morning person. As I told my assistant, I was like, I'm an afternoon pigeon. That's where my sweet spot is, in the afternoon. So I do 3 layers of epoxy. So this I just did. I do this 3 different times. I mean, I can do a silhouette one and kind of show you the basic stuff. And kind of show you my cut settings and what I do, because I think I'm a weirdo who, I never put my speed over 5, never, unless I'm cutting something like enormous. But again, remember, I do decals that are like this big. I never put my speed over 5, and I don't know why. I just won't do it. So, oh, the pink one is a bunch of different colors. It's like 5 different pinks that I use the Galaxy design to create. And right off the top of my head, I can't tell you what they are because I don't remember 100%. I'd have to go look, and it would give me, whoa. How do you give choices of decals for custom orders? That would be a great live to do, to show how I made my little charts. Hopefully I'll remember that, or if Shauna is still on here, she can remember that for me. Yeah, you can see how I labeled these. Let me get, so here's my bins up close. So you can kind of see they're supposed to resemble locker magnet or locker bins. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's supposed to kind of look like a locker. But this is just vinyl. It does not go on very easy. I had to use my burnishing tool to kind of like push while I was also pulling the transfer tape. It was not fun. It's not fun. But I got it on there and they're all labeled, and it's black and white, which makes my heart happy. So yeah. Maybe a guest tutorial. Shauna, that's a good idea. We'll have to see if I can talk to somebody. Oh, Jennifer, no, you won't miss it. And hopefully it's not a bad thing, but I'll still be praying for you since you're having surgery. That's a big deal. So, Jennifer Daniels, I will definitely say a prayer for you. Tia, it is a cup turner. My husband made them, but you can find them on Etsy. You can type in cup turner, and most of it will come up. There's lots of different people that sell them. Just be sure that you check the reviews. That's huge. You want to make sure that, number 1, they ship it out in a timely manner, and number 2, that they have good customer service in case anything goes wrong, and that people are happy with their product. So, the first, okay, I don't know what your left is. So I have 2 pinks on here. One is a pink Galaxy that has 5 different like glitters on here, and the other one is just a hot pink, and it's called Cosmos. I don't have it yet. Becky, yes. So I do 2 layers of Mod Podge, 2 layers of glitter. let those dry, let them dry between each layer. Then I do 3 full layers of epoxy. It takes a lot to smooth out this glitter. Glitter is bumpy and pokey and doesn't want to lay 100% correctly and flat and smooth, and so the epoxy smooths all of that out. And that's why I don't really know of another product you could use to get the same effect. So yes, you did see that. You did see that video. Shauna, I mean the charts that are like, if you look on my website on a listing, like I have a chart. It's not really a chart. It's like a graphic, I guess would be a better word, where I have the different monograms I offer, the font choices, that sort of thing. Amber, I make my magnets. I just did that. I had some leftover epoxy. I plan on doing a full live on it. I just stuck my finger in that. That's great. I plan on doing a full live on it, just to kind of show you how you can do it. But this is what I use my excess glitter for that maybe got mixed in with other things, and they look like this. They're big roses because that's part of my brand. I'm branded as Charlie Rose. And so I use that. And then on the back, these aren't done. I still have to do it. I get an E6000 and I slap a magnet on there. My website is still open. I'm not closing it. And I'm not really planning on closing it. I don't really like doing that. I only did it at the holidays because, whoa Nelly, it was a little crazy. And so I don't plan to, because I hate when people are like, well, when are you going to open? Like, I missed it. And that just kind of breaks my heart. So, Christy, I have a video on here on water slide. It's not the full, like a full tutorial like my group will get from like literally start to finish, but it's like once you have everything printed and you're going to apply it type thing. Oh, Krista, great. I'm glad I knew what you were talking about. Yeah, Cosmos is like a hot pink. It's super pretty. I love it. Brooke, epoxy is FX Premium Epoxy, countertopepoxy.com. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully you are enjoying the 32 days of lives. And again, I'm so honored when you show up and just participate and share my stuff. So I appreciate you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.